The United Nations top court is holding hearings on the legal consequences of Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories since 1967. An unprecedented 52 countries are expected to give evidence. Nations including United States, Russia and China will address judges in a week-long session at the Peace Palace in The Hague, seat of the International Court of Justice, the ICJ. In 2022, the UN General Assembly asked the World Court for a non-binding advisory opinion on the legal consequences arising from the policies and practices of Israel in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem. While any opinion would be non-binding, it comes amid mounting international legal pressure on Israel over the war in Gaza sparked by the October 7th Hamas attacks. The hearings are separate from a high-profile case brought by South Africa alleging that Israel is committing genocidal acts during the current Gaza offensive. The World Court ruled in that case in January that Israel must do everything in its power to prevent genocide and allow humanitarian aid into Gaza. However, it stopped short of ordering a ceasefire. On Friday, it rejected South Africa's bid to impose additional measures on Israel, but reiterated the need to carry out the ruling in full. The General Assembly has asked the International Court of Justice to consider two questions here. Firstly, the court should examine whether the legal consequences of what the UN called the ongoing violation by Israel of the rights of the Palestinian people to self-determination. And this relates to the prolonged occupation, settlement and annexation of the Palestinian territory occupied since 1967. And it also related to the measures aimed at altering the demographic composition, character and status of the holy city of Jerusalem. In June 1967, Israel crushed some of its Arab neighbors in a six-day war, seizing the West Bank, including East Jerusalem from Jordan, the Golan Heights from Syria, and the Gaza Strip and Sinai Peninsula from Egypt. Israel then began to settle the 70,000 square kilometers of seized Arab territory. The UN later declared the occupation of Palestinian territory illegal. Cairo regained Sinai under its 1979 peace deal with Israel. The World Court has also been asked to look into the consequences of what it described as Israel's adoption of related discriminatory legislation and measures. Secondly, the World Court should advise on how Israel's actions affect the legal status of the occupation and what are the consequences for UN and other countries. The court will rule urgently on the affair, probably by the end of the year. Israel is not participating in the hearings and reacted angrily to the 2022 UN request, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calling it despicable and disgraceful. The week after the UN resolution, Israel announced a series of sanctions against the Palestinian Authority to make it pay the price for pushing for it.